Welcome, and thank you for joining us for another beautifully blessed, peaceful, prosperous, productive, and phenomenally powerful night. We are your hosts, Tori the Barber, the one and only, the only one under the sun, and the man with the plan. Not just the man with the plan, but my right hand man, the one, the only, Free Will Code.
What's happening, y'all? Free Will Code in the building. Thank you, and welcome to another edition of the Free Will Podcast, where we create a community that inspires and empowers growth. You know, we're helping each other become the best versions of ourselves. What's happening, to? How you doing today, my boy?
Man.
Yeah.
We in the building.
Yes, sir. Not only are we in the building.
Not only are we in the building.
Yes, sir.
But we in the building together, man. Today is a very, very special day for a multitude of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Two main reasons.
Mm-hmm.
The first one you can already tell. We ain't come on like we normally come on, man. We live in the building and we tapping in. And man, this not our first in-person one. It's gonna be the best. This our second in-person. But for the second reason is we have a very, very special guest. Our very first guest.
Yeah.
So this is an honor. This is more than an honor.
Yeah.
To have none other than
Mr. Jaden.
Oh, I ain't know I was supposed to do my own introduction.
Listen.
The way you set it up was good, though.
Yeah, that was fine. Listen, this is our first time, so we doing it however we do it. You know what I mean? So listen, this is Mr. Jaden Hunter. You know what I'm saying? A very special person. Not only is he a very special person, but he's a very special person to me. Why? Because it's my brother. Can y'all tell? You know what I'm saying? Can y'all tell? But this guy is very amazing. He's very amazing. He is the first one out of the siblings of my mom and my dad to go to college. He did that. He finished it. He got his bachelor's degree. You know what I'm saying? My boy moved out the house.
Come on,
you know
now.
What I mean? He moved out the house on his own. He was there one day. He was like, man, I'm going to Texas. I said, yeah, okay, cool. He went to Texas. You know what I'm saying? On his own. He didn't have nothing. He went out there. Now he got him he already had him a car that he got by himself.
Yeah.
He got an apartment and he got a fire job, you know what I'm saying? And he making it happen, you know, so I'm very, very, very proud of him, and it is a pleasure and an honor to have him here with us today. What's happening, Jaden? How you feeling today?
Feeling, my brother.
I'm feeling good. I got a little drink in me, something a little loose. But you know, thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it. I don't really watch too much of the podcast, but I love that the topic that y'all talk about is very inspiring, and you know, self-help and all that self-betterment stuff is really important to me. Yeah. So to be our first guest on it is phenomenal.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
But listen, I'm grateful too.
Man, telling people why you grateful, Cole.
Grateful, man. First of all, for the Lord Almighty.
Yes, Lord, thank God.
I appreciate everything that happened to get me here today. I appreciate making it here. I appreciate y'all making it here. You know, it's just a blessing. You know, he takes me. He got me through everything. Yeah. Second one is I gotta put the first lady on the spot.
Yeah.
My ting, my boom boom. You know what I'm saying? My strawberry shortcake. My everything. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate her. And listen, I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be breathing. You know, I got some shoes on my feet. I'm grateful for that. I got clothes on my back. You know what I'm saying? I'm clean. I got soap at home. I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
What about you, Toe? What you grateful for today?
Oh man, hold on. I just want to do this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So Jay, this is pretty much how I go. I know you say you don't watch too much of the podcast, but this is pretty much how this go.
Mm-hmm.
We in the gratitude section.
Okay.
You the guest. I want you to go next. You pretty much seen what he did. So just let the people know what you're grateful for.
First, I want to say I'm grateful for my bed and the fan next to my bed. Who get that, they go get it.
Yeah. In a real
other
way.
than that, I'm grateful for everything. Just by my mindset, the people who put me in a place where I am now, the places I'm going, the places I came from, what else? Shit, the clothes on my back.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm grateful for a whole lot.
100%, man.
That's
a beautiful thing. Man, I'm thankful to be in the building, man. I'm thankful to be in the building, be here in person. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, especially with me. You know what I'm saying? You know that one friend that just take the longest? That just the one that be in the mirror, that's me. And I appreciate everybody. I'm grateful for everybody's patience that's behind the camera and production that just, you know what I'm saying, is a part of making this thing happen.
I think that's necessary though, too, you know, because you have this you can call it a perfectionist thing, but you making sure everything is looking good, right? And that's necessary, even though it may take a while.
Yeah.
You know, you have to put me on game. See, bro, you need to wake up. See, bro, you need to wear better shirts. See, bro, so, even though it can be a pain, it's very necessary. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for that.
So
for sure.
I'm grateful for that, man. I'm thankful for my best friend who's also behind the camera as a part of the production team.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me make that. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful for her, man, in a real way, for always just having a hand in this thing. I ain't gonna lie, she's gonna be one of the sole reasons why this thing goes as far as it's gone, because she's just been so hands-on in every way she could be. So I want to definitely shout her out. I'm thankful for my kids, Caitlin and Vay. I'm thankful to have 2 living parents. I'm thankful for, man, everything that just went right today for this moment to even become a reality, honestly. I don't want to get too much, but if I didn't say it, I'm going to say it again. All praise to the Most High. That's normally how I start. You know what I'm saying? We live, so I got a lot of things racing through my head. You know what I'm saying? But definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, did. So we in the building, man. Forgive me, y'all. I come on here as Tori the Barber every single week, so I got to put my clients on the board because they're a big part of my support system. So if I'm on the board, y'all on the board, and that's just how it go.
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't have been able to forgive myself. I would have forgotten.
Listen, we're going to go ahead on and give a moment of silence. We're going to bow our heads for a few seconds. Yes, Lord. For our brand new subscribers. And the ones who get post notifications, yes, Lord. Thank you. And thank you for joining us. If you haven't been on here already, welcome to the family. For the people who continue to join us every week, we appreciate y'all. 100%. Listen, it's a vibe. It's a family. We're growing. Definitely subscribe and like to show us some love.
Yes, Lord.
You feel me? Yes, sir. Two.
Without further ado, let's drop that word on the street. Word on the street. Word on the street.
All right, y'all. So we found an interesting video. It's pretty crazy. We're gonna go ahead on and run it so y'all can check it out.
This is a situation in question. A woman with something in her hand chasing after a 12-year-old over a Little League football game. The child running away with his hands in the air.
This is ridiculous. Like, how could you get that angry at a kid's game? Your son plays football. They tackle each other. That's just the name of the game. How can you get that upset to chase him, and not only chase him, but curse him while you're chasing him?
It was the first game of the season for the Southside Ravens. They were up against the Northwest Gorillas. The game was cut short after just a few minutes of starting.
Yeah, he was okay. I picked him up and everything, and he was actually trying to shake my hand after the play, until I guess his mom started chasing me.
An incident report by the Youth Football and Cheerleading League uncovers the parent in question was found in violation of multiple code of conduct policies. The YFF calling the woman a substantial threat to the environment.
If you cannot control your emotions that much that you get that upset, then you don't need to be around kids. But no, nobody has said anything to me.
She has since been banned from all events and activities permanently, and so have the rest of her family and children.
I hate that her son has to suffer. I hate that that team has to suffer, because we don't hate them. We do this for fun.
The woman will need to pay a $200 fine, and so will her son's former team, the Northwest Gorillas, for $500 for not controlling the sideline.
Man, that was crazy, huh?
Yeah, man.
That's some people are different. What you think about that, Took?
Man, first and foremost, I think I see what the biggest dilemma that the mama was having in this whole that with the game. Now the dude who tackled the kid who tackled her son was like almost 3 times his size.
Right.
But
Like
mom,
18,
like
huh?
everybody not gonna be your child's size. If you feel like your baby too small to be playing, then your baby don't need to be playing.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the biggest thing about it. I think she just real overprotective. But yeah, she out of pocket.
Yeah, I think shout out to all the moms out there, straight up. You know, moms should be trying to make sure that their kids are okay and make sure they don't get hurt. You know, I say if she had a concern, there was a better way to address that. You know what I'm saying? If she felt like that boy too big, hey, listen, while he on the field, I don't want my son on the field. Yeah, if that's cool with y'all.
They'll do that.
You know what I'm saying? And so, because dude was big, he looked like that was I don't know what the age range was, but homie in high school.
Nah, but he definitely knocking on puberty, dude. What you think, Jay?
Homie in high school, huh?
I think because when I watched the video, it looked like the bigger dude kind of like taunted the little dude after he tackled him a little bit, and it probably incited some extra rage or whatever. I could curse on him.
Listen, it's a free world lifestyle. Like, we try to keep it, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna try not to.
But you know.
So I don't know if that incited a little bit rage from the mom or whatever, but in terms of like a way to work it out, I just think that's football. I mean, I played football and I was the smallest one on the damn field.
Yeah.
And I got tackled by some big people, and it's just a thing to just get back up and or whatever. Even if they do taunt you, I mean, something will happen when they get knocked off their fucking feet, you taunt them back.
Yeah, that's a good point though. That's really life. Even outside of the field, you're gonna have some big dogs that you run up across, and it's either you're gonna deal with it or you're gonna go home. And going home is not an option. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to figure this thing out and see how we're gonna get big dude on his behind. You know what I mean? So
and then,
I feel like
not to imagine how her child felt. Like he probably don't want his mama out there running after people.
He for sure embarrassed.
Yeah, cussing and
His
all
mama,
that.
he ain't gonna, I don't
Exactly.
know. It depends on what kind of teammates he got, because they might not let him let that one down. He already one of the smallest people on the team.
Exactly.
And your mama.
Right.
Come on, man.
Mama Bear. And in terms of her consequences, I don't think she should pay a $200 fine. I think that's kind of excessive.
Extreme.
Her being banned from the events, I think that's cool. Her child shouldn't be punished at all. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
not for her
Wait,
actions.
what his
I agree
penalty
with
was?
that.
I think they.
I don't think.
won the game, huh?
I don't think
He
he
couldn't
had a
play
penalty.
either. Oh,
I don't
I
know.
don't think he had a
well,
penalty.
she banned, so
Yeah,
she
she outta
banned.
there.
He
The
gone.
daddy gonna have to
Let
come
the
now.
Daddy, but if he ain't got no daddy, I don't know.
$200
that's
fine
a
is
whole
crazy.
nother-
Uncle
He
gonna
didn't
have to
touch
bring
the
him
ball.
or something.
Yeah, too. Man, we talking about something pretty interesting
So
today.
what
huh?
we talking about today, Mr. Cole?
So I was thinking about something that I did my best to tailor it to our guest today, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I know him personally, as you
Yeah.
imagine, and he's been through a lot of things, you know,
Yeah.
and so a lot of people go through a lot of things. You feel me?
For sure.
And when we go through those things, we have a choice after that. We got, of how we live our life after that, you know. And it is very important that we're conscious that we have that choice. You know what I'm saying? So I think we are all characters inside our life stories. You know, we have like I like me and my brother. Well, he's like a game head, right? So when I chose it, I tried to make it like a game thing. You know, there's like we think about Batman and we think about the Joker, right?
Yeah.
Batman had his parents got killed or something like that, huh?
Yeah.
His family got murdered.
Yep.
The Joker, I don't think we know what happened, but some bad stuff happened. You know what Batman wanted to do? Batman said, "I'm going, I'm going to be the last one that had these issues." The Joker was like, "I'm going to have the issues. Everybody else going to have the issues too." You know what I'm saying? So I think that the first thing to break this down is just to ask ourselves who we are right now.
Oh yeah.
You know, like who are you right now to even know where you start at? You know, what you think about that, man?
I think that's an amazing question to ask, and I think that it don't matter what stage in life you is. Like if you a parent already, if you a kid, if you at any stage in life, you know what I'm saying. It's kind of like a reality check in a sense. It's just like just kind of like getting a sense of who you are and where you are, because who you are is a reflection of your experience.
Facts.
To be honest,
Right.
because it don't matter if you got money in your pocket, you have money in your pocket, and you could be just dead on the inside. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could look impoverished, but you could really be full of joy and full of love. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like Bob Marley lived a real minimalistic life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't, his music blew up. I don't really know Bob Marley's story, but he didn't come off like he had a lot of money, you know? So kind of like that in contrast.
Right. So Jay, do you remember the first time you were intentional about? You didn't really think that like you weren't trying to change your character, right? But to get to the next situation, do you remember the first time you were intentional about changing something about yourself?
I would say the first, I guess, big intentional change that I did. Well, not really a change, just kind of like I guess a change in how I express myself to the world. Because after I graduated high school, that's when I really came out as gay.
Yeah.
And so after that, I kind of, it kind of sparked something in me to really just be unapologetically myself.
Yeah.
Even more so than I already was.
100%.
And so when I graduated, I had friends and stuff like that, and they went to a college in Hammond. And then my first mind was like, I should probably, follow them as a college experience. It'll be fun. But me kind of in that mode of like, maybe that's not my path. This seems interesting right now. Let me stand in my own 2 feet and kind of like experience it.
Yeah.
So I chose to go to Grambling, which was like 5 hours away from New Orleans. And I went out there, and I would say being kind of forced to be unapologetically myself, like, because I ain't have no friends out there.
Yeah.
So I had to literally, and I'm a Cancer, so I left my shell. Yeah. So I could be in the room all day, no problem with my game and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But out there, I was like, I wanted the different experiences. Like, to be an adult, I can't just be in the room all damn day.
Right.
So kind of like, I don't want to say pulling up my bootstraps, but just kind of like facing the fear of rejection in terms of anything, like friendship, being included, whatever the fuck. But I like got out my dorm and I went to a party. And I was in there recording by myself, like, having fun. They had a little haunted house on campus. But I say that to say, like, that was probably my first time to being intentional of I could kind of change the flow of how I experience the world, how the world experiences me.
Facts.
So real quick, if I could ask a question real quick. So in order to take that approach of leaving your shell, and then you put yourself in an environment that like you was in action, right?
Yeah.
You in the action. So what was your mindset going into it? Like, what was your attitude is really what I'm asking. Like, what was your attitude going into it?
So I would say a good factor with my mindset. My friend Bree, shout out to Bree, she was into like a lot of astrology and different kind of like spirituality, holistic stuff. And so when I got to Gremlin, I kind of started getting interested in astrology and all that. And so I laid out my whole birth chart.
Yeah.
And birth chart come with a whole, I know everybody don't believe in astrology, but if you look deep into it, it's accurate for me. So after analyzing my whole birth chart and just seeing like, because there's these things called perfection years, so like different years of your life, there's different themes or whatever. So I want to say that was 2018. I forgot what the perfection year was for that one. Yeah. But it was just like it was. I was in a constant mode of like trying to understand my own mind. Because I also going back to astrology. Right. I have a Gemini moon, just to kind of like lay it out. But my mind is always constantly racing. And I tend to intellectualize, I guess, my emotions instead of just letting myself feel them. So I was always in a constant state of trying to figure out who really I was, type thing.
Facts.
So my mindset was just kind of doing something different because I've been doing this all my life. So maybe if I do something different, some different insight will come in to help me how to find out who I really am.
That's fine.
I hope that's a good answer to the question.
For sure. Two things stood out to me. Like, a lot of times we get, like, we try to be 100% all the time. Like, I need to know what's going on before I jump into it. And you're not gonna have that all the time,
at all,
right? And so what you did when you jumped out there, you was like, it's gonna happen. Whatever gonna happen, right? But the most important part though is you need something to guide you. You do, right? And you chose astrology. You chose the universe, right? People go like everybody got these debates on what's this and what's that. Believe in something. You know what I'm saying? Like, get you something to guide you, right? Don't be out here like you need something spiritual bigger than you to guide you every step, or else you will find yourself trying to do the spiritual work when that's not your job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
And I would even say, because that's on the spiritual side, in terms of like the physical whatever life. I went to college for business administration. Yeah. And then in my head it was like, you can't really go in my head, because when I think of a businessman, it's like, he could walk into a room, start a conversation, do his work, make an experience or whatever. And I knew I couldn't do that in my room. Like, I had to go out and kind of like network with people. Like, even going to class, like, I would start answering questions or asking questions and shit like that, without waiting for it to be in a group setting type thing. So like to help stand on my own. So
that's big.
So me trying to go towards that goal of being this idea of a businessman or whatever kind of also helped me take that leap of faith.
So what it sounded to me is like you started to really create the reality you wanted to experience instead of just waiting for it to come along and then you seize the opportunity. It sounded like to me you just started creating the opportunity.
Yeah.
You put yourself in the mindset and then you created the environment for you to thrive in.
And later on, it kind of shifted the dynamic. Well, we could talk about it. Unless y'all want
So that's the second part though, too, because first is where you are, where are you? You know, he went through that. You know, then he figured out who he wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be somebody. I want to be business-like, and then I gotta go out there and make it happen, right? You know, because you need that. Because sometimes we be out here, you know, and we just moving, we just kind of floating along, and then wondering why nothing's happening. But you never planted that seed in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
You know. But now you are a businessman now. He's that.
Yeah.
He dress up real nice. He manages an entire team.
Yeah.
Right.
No, not really.
Yeah.
But
no, I'm saying, but
I'm
you
the
manage
HR
people.
person, like a whole company. Yeah. So.
Listen, anybody in HR, I got respect for them. Everybody going to HR. You know what I'm saying? HR, look at this, and that. This person don't treat me like this. Why my pay looking like that? That's a lot
Let me
of stuff
tell you
to
something.
deal with.
I got a lot of respect for a lot of what he said because even this something that I realized. Hearing you say what you just said, what I realized is what you creating, what you want to experience. Like you wanted to present yourself as a businessman, but not just because you dress like it, not just because in your mind you're a businessman, but you started putting yourself in position. You started creating the reality of it to be it because what I've done is like, okay, I want to be like this, I want to be that, but I kind of it's like my best kept secret. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like what I'm saying is I didn't put myself out there, but because I say that's what I want to do, that's how I want to be. I'm like that in environments where I feel safe to express it.
That's
but you
big.
just you didn't wait for the environment. You didn't wait for the right time. You created the time.
Yeah. And I would say at least how the universe presented this out to me. It's kind of like when you ask damn, I wish I was more patient. You're not just gonna wake up one day and be more patient with something.
Facts.
It's gonna put you in a situation where it's gonna test your patience.
Yeah.
Like, and so with the whole business thing, it's like, okay, I want to be this professional, whatever. I want to do this with my life, get the car, apartment, all that type of thing. And then I would just find myself having opportunities come my way. And I don't know if I'm gonna go too far, but opportunities came my way, but seizing those opportunities to go out there, and then those situations kind of forced me to step up to different plates, which gave me different skills and experience that now I could use to be the businessman that I envisioned a long time ago.
Yeah. There's a gap in between, you know, between who you are now, who you want to be.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think a lot of people talk about the middle gap. You know, it's just like, I want to do this, and then I go into the hole and I create it.
Yeah.
But sometimes when we don't know what that looks like, we questioning ourselves. We like, am I doing this right? Like, you know, is it supposed to be like this? Am I supposed to be messing up? You know, am I supposed to be embarrassing myself like this?
Right.
You know, and you know, but that's why we talk about stuff like this. But I want to ask both of y'all, you know, what are some things that people don't see on Instagram and like on TV that's very important to let them know that, hey, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, you know?
It's a phenomenal question. I'll let you take the lead on it.
I don't think it's ever a point where you're gonna be like, yeah, I know this is a decision I need to make. I think there's always a constant push and pull battle of like, what's the right decision to make? And I I saw something a while ago, and it sticks with me. Like, you can't really make a wrong decision. You just have to make a decision, and then based on the outcome of that decision, you make the next decision
move
based on
accordingly.
like that.
This man dropping gems.
And then also trusting yourself too, kind of comes with that. So, and just to kind of give you a little background, like, I was working at Bed Bath & Beyond, and it was closing down, and then this lady, her name Gretchen, she came into the building, was kind of like, she buys up the furniture, I guess you'll call it. Like the signage, stuff like that, for this thing called SHRM, which is the Society of Human Resources Management.
Right.
And they're like global, and they also have national chapters and local state chapters, and then they have stuff that's on campus. But I had recently changed my major from business administration to human resources, and a whole bunch of doors started opening, and this was like one of the main ones. The main doors that opened for me. She came in and she was like, "Oh, you into HR?" Because she overheard me talking to my coworker about it. and she was giving out her card. She was like, you know, I'm an HR person, so I got a lot of connections. So if I need a job, hit me up type thing. But she told me that there's a SHRM chapter on campus. She was like, I want you to join it, network, and, you know, contact me. So me still being like the cancer that I am, the shell or whatever, I took it. And then I was like, yeah, I'm going to join the SHRM thing. Well, I knew about it. I was like, I'm going to join it eventually, but it's not really at the forefront of my mind. But I kept a card. And then I want to say the beginning of my the end of my junior year, which was like the spring semester, so that was January. I was like, I'm about to graduate, but I don't have nothing lined up, like no internships. So like, what the hell to do? So I joined the SHRM chapter on campus. And then going back into what I was saying, it's like trusting yourself. Because I didn't know how I never joined anything on campus. I mean, I had the sociology club, but I was like, I just joined that shit to say I was in it. And I barely even went to the meetings. But now that I was being serious about it, I was like, let me just go in there, be myself or whatever, and then see what happens. So I went in there, and then it was a great time. Like, we was all, you know, josing and stuff like that. And then we took a picture afterward. And it felt great to, like, go home after that and be like, I actually did something to progress my career a little bit. Even if it's the smallest thing. And then so a few months after that, my friend Caitlin, shout out to Caitlin, she came out of a class and was like, there's this program called Corporate Internship Leadership Institute. The name changed now. It's like it's Career Immersion Leadership Institute. And she was like, it's ran by a black man, kind of for us, by us type thing. I think we should join it.
Mr. Perry.
Yeah, Perry. And she was like, I think we should join it or whatever. And so that was another thing, like, I want to trust myself. I really don't have experience with fellowship. Like, I ain't even research. I was like, okay, they say they could help you with professional development, all that type of stuff.
Absolutely.
So I took the opportunity.
So you weren't even sure in none of this stuff that you're doing.
So I was just going. I'm like, I have nothing lined up outside of college.
You just moving.
You know, exactly. Just moving. And trusting myself. And so, literally, the first, like, I emailed the people, and it was like, okay, we want to interview, because they had like 3 rounds of interviews for you to get into the fellowship. The first interview, I saw the name and it said Gretchen McKinney. And I was like, I wonder if this the lady who gave me the card and babe at the Beyond a year ago. And I pulled out the card and I was like, is this you? And she fell out. She was like, you're in the program. It don't matter what you do. You're in the program. You really stuck to it. She was like, you joined the SHRM chapter? I was like, yeah, I'm an officer and everything. Like, I'm really doing it with it. So she kind of, that's my mentor. One of my mentors. She kind of believed in me to kind of progress through that and help me kind of trust myself. But we'll get into that.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's platinum.
Boy, dropped buku gems.
I ain't gonna lie. Look, he dropped so many, dog. And man, that whole spill was real. It was ill, but I want to take it back to this part, like the first gem that you pointed out, which was, don't tell me I forgot it, and I've been waiting this whole time for it. I ain't forget it. Damn, what was it?
The trust? Was it the trust?
Yes, it was like it was. You don't know what decision, like to your question, you don't know what like choice is the right or wrong choice. You just have to make a choice.
That's it.
And then move after that, like deal with the reaction to that, and then keep going from there. And I think that is like my number one problem, because I be so like over calculated to where like I gotta know if I do this, what's gonna happen after that, and then if this happens, what's gonna happen after that.
Literally.
And then what they call it, analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
And I get stuck in that. You know what I'm saying? But that is so freeing to me to hear.
It is.
For me to hear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That you're like, make a move, bro. Trust your instincts. You know, if you pray about it, you do whatever you do about it, just to where you get your confidence from, and then you make a decision, and then after that, you just gotta trust that you're going to your target. Closer to your target.
And I think it'll be even easier if you like kind of turn it onto yourself in a way like, because you know we all value self-betterment and stuff like that. So when you put it in like how you the issue, it's kind of, for me, I was the issue because I needed control, so needed to control the situation so bad. So when I figured out, I was like, I have a problem relinquishing control over stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the need to control stuff put me in that analysis paralysis. Like I'll be like, okay, I make the decision. What the hell come after that? It must be this, and now I'm overthinking or whatever. And I created a whole storyline that probably didn't even happen, but because I needed to control the outcome in a way. And so when I relinquish the control, when I relinquish the control, the only thing I can control is that first decision.
Damn,
so let me just make that,
What's
and then the rest
right
come
now?
after that. And then when that second decision presents itself, then I have control over that, so I just make that.
Damn.
So when you talk about the gap between like who you are and who you becoming, I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. No. But it's like to be in the present moment, because the present moment is where the decision is.
That's where it's at.
So if you're thinking too far ahead, you're never gonna be able to make a sound decision.
Yeah.
So
I feel it.
Wow. Wow.
Come on.
I'm damn near about to cry right now, goddamn. Listen.
This shit hard though.
Yeah,
It's a
but
decision
it's
to make every day.
but
This
that
shit hard.
like you just gotta talk about it though. You know, that's why we talking about it, because people like we don't be knowing, especially people like us who are we call pioneers in our environment.
Yeah.
Right? We just moving. Like we don't have other
Like leaders
examples and
yeah.
stuff. You know,
Right.
now you can go get some.
Yeah.
You know, but it's so like what I want to say. It's so simple to where like I might not even know that I gotta go get a mentor. You know what I'm saying? Like I might not even know that I gotta go and get somebody. Because with me, my thing is like I need to do it by myself. You know, and I'm thinking everything I gotta do is just for me. You know what I'm saying? Or I gotta do it myself, or else it's not valuable.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I feel that.
you know, when you also accepted help from other people. You like Gretchen, I don't know who Gretchen is, but I'm going out. Me, I'm like, bump Gretchen. I could do what Gretchen do. I could go do this, and I could do left, right, and middle, straight up. You know? And so that's so major, man. You gotta trust the process, whatever the process is.
Yeah.
However it's supposed to go. The only thing you're supposed to do is make a decision.
Yeah.
That's it.
Make the step.
You don't have we
hard to
don't
do.
even have no control over everything else.
Make the step.
Wow, that's major, bro.
And honestly, if I can add this, you know, everybody have, you know, different beliefs, different ways that they kind of come up. I think like what Cole was saying, you know, believe in something. You know what I'm saying? If you're leaning on the Bible, if you're leaning on the Quran, if you're leaning on astrology, if you're leaning on whatever, however you get it done.
Right.
You know, something that I read, you know, just kind of studying the book of Proverbs is, I can't quote I ain't there yet. I ain't elite. You know what I'm saying? I'm quoting the Bible scripture for scripture yet. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, you know, you ask God to order your steps. You know what I'm saying? Order my steps. And then you make that the first decision. You know what I'm saying? Ask God to lead your way, light my path. And then you make a decision. And he'll make a misstep the correct step to me. You see what I'm saying? Like he'll make a misstep the correct step, because something that I discovered a long time ago is sometimes when we come up against a no, we come up like we have a door shut in our face, we get denied, we think that it means that it's not meant for us.
Yeah,
when
it's
all
canceled.
that is a necessary detour to something better.
absolutely.
Or that is the very thing that's gonna correct your path. Because analysis paralysis guy here, like I be thinking like, okay, I need to know exactly what my path is gonna look like. But the reality of it is, you know what you want, but you really don't know the path. You don't know who you're gonna come across. You don't know how long you gotta stand in the rain for. But that's a part of your journey. And if I was to just straight line get to exactly what it is that I want, I probably won't even be ready for it. I probably won't even be built for it. You know what I'm saying? But every necessary detour that I take that comes with adversity will build character to be able to sustain once I finally get there.
That's big. You know how like when you playing a video game, right? Like Jay, like you know they don't just put you on level 10.
No.
And then the powers that you have when you're on level 10, you don't have that when you're on level 1.
Oh no.
So you have to get the power. You master the power. Level 2, they're going to give you another power. You master that, and then you keep, you know, if they dropped you on level 10, you got all these buttons to use. You don't even know how to use them.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Combinations.
So right.
Real talk. I'm telling you.
ABBA. You know what I'm saying?
telling you.
So that is the process is also actually building you.
Yeah.
It's building you
100%.
like have grace. Like Kobe, have grace. I gotta talk to myself.
Yeah.
Have grace for the process.
Yeah.
And for
Like
yourself.
and let it work on you, even if you because like it can never do no wrong for you.
Yeah.
Just make a decision.
And I also say making a decision is a good thing to kind of like focus on, but also still having a plan, like a goal and something. So going back to the video game thing, let's say you face your first boss character or whatever, and you try to beat him this way, that shit don't work. Instead of you being like, fuck it, that might not be my path then. No, you still got the goal that you're trying to go. You just got to do it differently. So that's the second, like you made it the first decision based on how that decision outcome was. Now you change your decision where you get to try again.
Yeah.
And so now you defeat the boss, and now you still like, because the game is already structured. You got your, your levels, and you got the final boss character. So you still in this pathway. It's just like, different obstacles that's gonna come your way. You got to find different ways to get around it. It's much easier said than done.
100%.
Sometimes shit might pass you by just because you wasn't like in the mindset in that moment in time to catch it and
But that
take
wasn't for
advantage
you,
of the
though.
opportunity.
It wasn't for you. You wasn't ready for it.
Exactly. And I wouldn't look at it like because I feel like a lot of people would get themselves stuck in a hole. Like if I try to do this again, it's gonna keep like being a bad decision. So you just gotta keep. And when you were saying earlier, I wanted to add on like you kind of need or at least for me, a level of delusion when it comes to shit. Like when shit don't happen for me, I'll be like, no, it's still gonna happen for me. It must not just gonna be happening that way. Like instead of just being like, nah, I gotta change some shit up. It's a level of delusion with it, and that really helped me, especially with manifesting and stuff like that. So that's imagining it in your mind, it's gonna come to you
because we are entitled to what we want. We entitled to where we want to go. Like that's on us to say that's what we want and for us to have our own personal desires. But there's always that like hidden shadow of doubt, I guess I could say it is like I want this, but is that what's meant for me? You know, especially when you attempt at like when you go for something and you fail and then you fail again and like you on your last like $100 and you like I could try one more time, but after this I'm gonna be broke. But I'm at the point to where I'm broke. So is this it for me or no? Like am I supposed to be doing something else? So having that look like you can. There's an analogy about the people who was mining gold and it was literally 3 feet away from the gold and they stopped digging 3 feet shy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like having that faith that you can get it and keep going. The tricky part is you just don't know how deep you got to dig until you get it.
Yeah.
And it's like, so would you say that that's where the delusion part come in at? To where that is kind of like what keep you tethered to your dream?
And then I would say the more delusional, the more you practice the healthy delusion, the more you're able to decipher when you're making a choice out of like. So let's say for the mining thing, for example, say your mind and the delusion is like I'm gonna get to the goal, but at some point you really gotta sit back and evaluate like, am I digging towards nothing? But I feel like the more you kind of practice that healthy delusion and making choices that's aligned with your higher self is what I call it. You'll kind of know I have this innate feeling to just make the decision, and then you'll know if it's gonna lead you to that goal, or if your path might be to turn around, and go find another tunnel, or find something else that's not gold, but it serves your higher purpose.
As much as a lot of people make it seem like you're blindly moving, you're not. Like the world is talking to you when you're making moves.
Absolutely.
You just need to know how to listen. You gotta know how to have your ears to the ground. Like, hey, this happened. You know, what does this mean? You know, I mean, you could be wrong about it, but you gotta learn how. And I think it's a skill, like just learning how to assess what happened this time. You know, even if it's just a small tweak. You know, I'm a troubleshooter, right? If I'm looking at the power, the voltage, and the voltage changed by 0.1, that's a change. That's either in the right direction or the wrong direction, right? So, okay, what I do differently this time? You know, because you can't just move. You know, I don't. You know, we say blind live. Okay, you have blind faith maybe, but you don't make blind decisions.
No, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Have your plan together and assess your plan. You know, so you can see what the results are.
Yeah,
I feel that.
And I already said I don't know if y'all know about numerology or anything like that. But a lot of the confirmation that I get from the choices I make are outside of myself. Like I'll make a decision, and then a few minutes later, or as I'm making a decision, I'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, which is my angel number that I see a lot that's aligned with like you on the right path type thing. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4 everywhere. 1, 1, 1, or 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Like they have different meanings and stuff like that. So like I'll make a decision, I'll see that, and I'm like, oh, that's my confirmation, and it keeps me in that mindset of like I'm in the right path. So I don't doubt my next decision.
Yeah, that's it.
About me, everybody got to find their own kind of confirmation, because everybody might not be susceptible to numerology or seeing the numbers and stuff like that. Or even believing it, but there's different ways you could find confirmation, I feel like.
Yeah. I think after that, you know, after we have been in this thing for a while and we know how to figure it out, and we moving, don't ever not think that you can go back to where you were. Yeah. You know, be wary of that, right? I think the best thing you could have done was leave your environment.
Absolutely.
You know, you left your environment because you can get pulled back. And people say all the time, you can beat your environment, but why would you try to fight your environment, something that powerful? You don't even got to do that. Just dip and go.
Just put yourself somewhere
have
else.
an environment that's going to work on you and that's going to work on in your favor.
In your favor.
You know what I mean? So when you know that when you are creating your new character, you can't never go back to your old character. You can't go back to that.
You know what's waiting for you there where you was at.
Yeah.
Right, you
wasn't comfortable
already
with
beat
that.
the
That's why you
story
left.
mode on that. What we doing? Just reliving? We just
Literally.
reminiscing. You know what I'm saying? For what? You know?
For those who know about the PlayStation, I always been an Xbox. You always been an Xbox?
Yeah.
But you know, like with the PS, I don't know with the PS1, but the PS2 was like you had to keep that memory card in there. If you lost that memory card came out, you lost that memory card, you got to start all the way over. So don't lose your memory card now. Remember your progress. Remember where you at, and remember what's waiting for you if you go back. That's motivation to keep moving forward.
Yes, sir. Man, I have to say that this is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
This is way better than I thought it would be. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, you know, just being me and Toby being behind the scenes of everything, you know.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you. I love you.
I love
you
you.
know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And I thank you for being here with us.
Of course.
And you dropped some gems.
Oh, yeah.
Head today. You know what I'm saying?
It's a historical
You'll be
moment,
clipping
man.
a piss
I
out
like
there.
this.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it was definitely a beautiful experience, and I definitely want to we want to thank you on behalf of the Free Will Podcast for taking time out. Listen, this man had dinner plans tonight.
Yeah.
But guess what? Everything don't always go according to plan. He made the sacrifice and made a commitment to be here with the Free Will Podcast, man. So everybody that's watching this, I really hope y'all valued this moment, this episode. And it's more to come, man. And I hope we got to get him back on the podcast because he was made for the camera, man.
Yeah.
So
You think so?
100%. I want part 2 of this thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we gonna do it.
You know what I'm saying?
We
We
gonna
got to
do
do something else with something else. Yeah, but
Without further ado, Toe, take us out the game.
Man, we just want to personally thank each and every single one of y'all for embarking on this journey with us. Man, when y'all see this, just know that we really put a lot into being in this moment right here, man. And we really want to thank y'all for coming along this journey with us week after week after week. And we just want to thank y'all for that, like from the bottom of our hearts, man. Yo, Cole, let them know they can catch us here next Friday, every Friday. And they don't got to just meet us here.
Beat us there, man.
Y'all can catch us again on the next one.